Truma, makers of the Combi Heater and iNet system, are proud to sponsor Practical Caravan TV.
Welcome to the artist formerly known as the Caravan Channel, because with a brand new series, we've got a brand new name. This is Practical Caravan TV. But where are we today? Oh yeah, we're at the NEC for the Caravan Camping and Motorhome Show. We're going to be reviewing some great new vans, meeting some fascinating people and seeing some clever innovations. Without any further ado, let's get on with the show. There haven't been a vast number of fundamental changes to the 2016 Eldest Crusader range, apart from one very obvious one, these rather natty champagne sidewalls and the bronze front locker lid. Now I must confess to not having been wildly keen when I first saw it, but actually the more time I spend with it, the more I like it. At least it looks different to the classic white. There's also this new layout, the Eldest Crusader Aurora, which features an inline double bed at the back of the van. It's a layout that's more commonly seen in motorhomes, but it works particularly well in caravans, as Eldest has proved in various other vans, including the Affinity 550. Before we move inside, however, I've got one complaint. Just imagine you're sitting out here under your awning, enjoying dinner, and oh no, the toilet casette's full. I'll just take it out and pop it past you. Now, if you hadn't already guessed from all those external toys, which include a gas barbecue point, alloy wheels and Alco ATC trailer control, you'll know as soon as you step aboard that this is a luxury caravan. Although you probably already know that from the fact that it costs about 23 grand. But this is a really nice lounge. We've got a big panoramic sunroof behind me, thickly padded seats, and a reasonable amount of space, certainly for four. Any more than that is probably going to be a little bit pinched. But there's some really great detailing abounds in this van. Check out these little handles, which work by rotating to create a positive latch for the cupboards. It's a really neat touch. Moving forward into the kitchen, it's got masses of worktop, so there's no need for a worktop flap, and a proper sink. Look at that, it's almost domestic in size. I like the fact that the table is mounted on this side of the caravan, in the front here, so you haven't got to walk through to the back to go and get it. And drinkers will like the fact you've got a cocktail cabinet there, so you can proudly display your booze and your glasses. There's the obligatory separate oven and grill and dual fuel hob, and of course a microwave, which is mounted at a decent level, but sadly directly over that hob. I like the fact that the kitchen units are in a different finish, this sort of whitewashed effect, so you know when you're in the kitchen rather than in the lounge. It's got a different atmosphere. There's also an omnivent above, which is great for getting rid of all those kitchen smells. This central washroom is really rather natty. On the near side, we've got an electric flush toilet and a radiator for the Aldi wet central heating. And if you'll forgive me for being a gnome for a minute, just look at this piano hinge. It's the full height of the door. It's a really nice quality piece of workmanship. On the off side, we've got a circular shower cubicle with an orbit shower head, so it should produce plenty of water. There is some intrusion from the wheel arch in there, but it's still pretty spacious. So at the moment, it's working as a family bathroom split across the van. But what if you want it as an ensuite? Bearing in mind this is largely a van for couples. Well, that's simple. You just pull back this screen and shut this door. Now, I know I've been accused of going on a bit too much about bed lengths, but this is really ridiculous. Or is it? Because for 2016, Eldest has altered its bed retraction mechanism so that it pulls back by a whole 400 millimeters, which means when you pull it out, like so, and flip over the mattress top, it's a full 6 foot 3 inches long. There's some other really good details in here. These are really nice domestic style curtains on proper poles. There are his and hers wardrobes on either side and lockers above, plus a neat little vanity unit here on the off side of the van. It means you get a mass of storage underneath. Particularly that water tank over there, which holds 40 litres. My one quibble is that you can't access that from the outside. This new Aurora layout, and indeed those rather funky sidewalls, only add to what is already a very strong package for the Crusader. And of course it's backed up by Eldest's solid construction with a 10-year water ingress guarantee. At 23 grand, it seems very well priced. If you're a couple looking for a highly luxurious van, it's well worth a look. So we've spent most of the show so far looking at the outside of caravans, but have you ever wondered what's going on beneath it? Well, if you own a UK-built caravan, 98% of them will feature something pretty much like this underneath. Paul, can you tell me a little bit more about what this is we're looking at?
Yeah, this is a standard one-piece construction chassis. I say one-piece, it's the side rails that are one-piece. They're then joined together with the axles itself. If it's a single axle or a tandem axle, they all join everything together to bring in the strength. So it starts at this front end here where you've got the hitch. This is our standard AKS 3004 stabiliser. It's been developed for a number of years and is designed to help with instability, slight cases of pitching and yawing. So when it starts to sway, it just helps to bring the caravan back under control and just make sure that the people driving the car don't feel too affected by too much sway.
Right. And what's this piece stretching down here?
This is the brake rod that links the front end of the overrun braking device to the actual axles itself, and then you've got the Bowden cables at the far end. You just link in with the wheel brakes. So when the caravan feels as though the car is slowing down, the overrun compresses, it pulls on the brake rod, which in turn pulls the Bowden cables on, applying the road brakes on the caravan.
And that's the traditional braking method for caravans. But
yep.
I see we've got something else here. What's that?
This is the Atc System. It's an anti-snaking device for caravans. It's a bit like electronic braking on a caravan. Right. So again, when the caravan is driving down the road, it might be hit from the side by a high wind, could get caught in a bow wave by an HGV or a coach, or it could be that it's just driving too fast and the caravan's just becoming a little bit unstable. ATC picks up on that movement of the caravan, waits until it's, I wouldn't say dangerous, but waits until it's significantly picked up, and then applies the brakes on the caravan just to slow everything down, just to bring the caravan back under control and allows the journey to carry on nice and easily.
Well, you've heard the theory, now let's see it in practice. We've got a miniature version of an Alco ATC stability system right here on this model. So let's imagine we're driving along quite happily up the motorway at a safe and legal speed. Maybe I've got a bit enthusiastic, or the wind started to blow and it's getting a bit out of shape. And then the system applies the brakes, then releases them once we're back in line and safe again. While we're on the Alco stand, I thought we'd come and take a look at this. It's the new premium braking system. Now, as far as I know, only Luna are currently fitting this as standard, but I think you can expect to see it on plenty of models very soon, because it's simple but highly effective. It automatically adjusts the brakes for you, so you haven't got to take the wheel off and jack the van up in order to tighten up those shoes against the drums. What happens is, as it detects that there's pad wear in here, this neat little mechanism rotates this dial here and pushes the shoes back out against the drum. Simple, but very clever. It might be a wonderful thing to stay in, but the modern touring caravan is hardly a thing of beauty. So what do you do if you're a bit of an individual and you want to pull something distinctive that's great to stay in as well? Well, until now there haven't been a huge amount of options available to you. But now there's this, the Barefoot. And I'm here with Kathy. Kathy, what is the inspiration behind this caravan?
Well, really much as you've said. I was looking for a nice caravan and couldn't find one. I've spent quite a lot of weekends, wet weekends camping, which I love the outdoors, but really probably getting a bit old for camping. And I go to music festivals, and I just wanted something really small and neat that I would feel proud to tow, and I couldn't see anything, so I thought I'll make one.
So you had the idea. How did you actually bring it into fruition?
I hooked up with some my colleagues in the Cotswolds who own Watsonian Squire, which is a motorbike sidecar company, because I'd realised that really to get the shape that I wanted of a caravan, it would have to be made of fiberglass, so it could be moulded to a really nice curved shape. So with them, we then got inspiration and help from some students on the university course at Coventry, the Automotive Transport Design course, which is the best course in the country for that. And between us all, we came up with the design. I knew what shape I wanted. I knew I wanted a retro feel to it. And so we designed it being non-caravanners, really. made the lovely curved shape and then realised just how difficult it was to fit it out. But we've managed it.
And who's actually building the caravan for you?
It's now, the body is made by Cheltenham Laminating. Originally it started off, it was made from clay, so we've had pattern makers along the way. But now the body is made by Cheltenham Laminating. We've got a huge 5-piece split mould, but it produces this 1-piece monocoque body, which has got no seams, no joins, obviously won't leak. And it's fitted out by auto sleepers, which is great, also in the Cotswolds in Broadway.
So it's a completely local project?
Yeah, well actually not local to me, I'm from Cheshire, and I couldn't find the right companies in the area that I live, so I spend a lot of time travelling down to the Cotswolds, which there's worse places you could visit, so it's really pleasant. But yeah, it's all made in the Cotswolds, yeah. And I was very keen that the whole thing was made in the UK, so far as possible, all the components have been sourced in the UK.
So I saw the caravan has a Bpw Hitch. Does it have a Bpw chassis as well?
No, it's not actually. No, we looked at different chassis, but the standard caravan chassis are much higher than this one, because we wanted it to be small and aerodynamic and look cute. It just didn't look right on one of the taller chassis, so the drawbar actually slopes down on this caravan. So it's a bespoke galvanised steel chassis made by Edwards Trailers up in York.
What kind of person do you see falling for this caravan?
I think the target market is a bit actually people who might otherwise buy a camper van. We've had a lot of interest from people who would otherwise buy a camper van, but obviously they've got their limitations and they're more than twice the price of this. So it's somebody who really might go off to a music festival, wants to go away for weekends, go to the beach or whatever, and doesn't want to have a huge caravan with them. And something that they can just, park at home and then get up and go with.
So not the traditional caravan buyer at all, really?
Not really. We've had a lot of interest from traditional caravanners who are looking to downsize. I think people are interested in having something smaller now. So people are enjoying having smaller cars, and obviously you can tow this behind a smaller car than you can with most caravans.
So can you personalise your Barefoot?
Yeah, very much actually. They'll all look very different. So we can offer different colours. We've just made a duck egg blue one. We can do grey, or we can do any RAL colour that anybody wants. And inside, people can choose the interior fabrics, they can choose the kitchen unit colours, they can choose the curtain colours. So each van will look very, very different, yeah.
Thanks very much, Kathy. I can't wait to take a look inside. It's always exciting to hear about a new British manufacturer, so I've been keen to get inside the Barefoot ever since I first saw the pictures. And I have to say, I'm not even a little bit disappointed. Although it's a tiny caravan on the outside, it's amazingly spacious inside. It's fairly narrow, but still makes incredible use of the space available. Up front here, I'm sitting on this rather lovely wraparound sofa, which is finished in white vinyl on this van, but of course you can choose whatever colours you like. The next one that's going to be built is going to be finished in duck egg blue, with these rather fetching fabrics for the curtains and the seats. It really means that you can personalise the van completely to your taste. But this isn't all about style and no substance. If you look around the caravan, there are some really lovely, thoughtful details. Every bit of space has been used to create a storage cubbyhole, which makes the very best use of what is a very unconventional shape. And at night time, these wraparound sofas turn into a very good sized double bed. 6'1" by 6 feet, in fact, which is amazing. Underneath this side, there's a pull-out set of slats, and underneath this side, two little things flap up, and you pop in infill cushions, and you've got a very large bed, and it's pretty comfortable too. It's an ideal caravan for weekend breaks and festivals. It's very, very much not your traditional tourer. However, it does have plenty of the features you'd expect to find in a traditional tourer. There's a proper kitchen with a twin ring stove and a sink, the kind of unit that you normally find in a camper van. Underneath, there's a useful sized fridge and plenty of storage, but unfortunately no oven or grill. But then this isn't a long-term proposition for holidays, this is more for short breaks. One thing I really love is the fact that the worktop in both the kitchen and the sideboard is solid oak. It looks and feels really lovely instead of plastic finishes. Yet despite that, this van is surprisingly light. It's got an MTPLM when fully laden of 1,050 kilos, so it can be pulled by plenty of smaller cars. There's that Roberts radio too. What a great little touch that is. It's part of the standard specification, and it can be tailored to match the colour scheme of the rest of the caravan. Across the back of the van, you'll find a wardrobe with a shoe cupboard beneath and a surprisingly generous washroom. There are duck boards in the floor, which are nice to stand on when you're showering, but can be lifted out to give more headroom. There's everything you'd expect to find in a traditional caravan bathroom. You've got a shower, a decent sink, a little cabinet, and of course a proper electric flush toilet, in this case a Dometic. Well, what a fantastic little caravan, and it looks just as good on the outside. We've got a Bpw Hitch stabiliser, a rather neat little gas locker on the front, really solid feeling grab handles, and these natty chrome wheels. Great if you're going to match it to a classic car. There is one slight stumbling block, and that's the price. It's 50 quid shy of £22,000, but of course you do get everything you'd expect to find in a fully fledged caravan. You've got trimmer heating, a proper washroom and a proper kitchen. And of course, there's nothing else quite like it. When did you ever get anything bespoke for free? At the last couple of NEC shows, Knaus has had a really strong presence, with funky vans such as the Deseo and the Sport and Fun. But of course it has one big drawback. The doors are on the wrong side for the UK market. Or at least they were. For 2016, Knaus has brought in the new Star Class models, and as you can see, their doors are on the correct UK near side. I caught up with importer Mike Lake to find out Knaus's plans for the UK. So Mike, tell me a little bit about the motivation behind the Star Class.
Star Class, Ellie, is very important to us. The UK market is huge. It's the biggest caravan market in the whole of Europe. And what we would really deeply like to have is a small percentage of that market, just a tiny share. Knaus is about quality. Star Class is going to be probably one of the most expensive offerings in that sector of the market. And Star Class is aimed firmly and squarely at British and Irish consumers.
Is it difficult to sell Continental caravans to British buyers?
By tradition, yes, it has been. Continental caravans are manufactured for a huge variety of markets. So as a factory, or a series of 4 factories, which in fact we are, we build a range of something like 67 different layouts, all of which can sell quite easily in 20 plus countries. In the UK, it's different. We like our doors on the near side. We love smooth aluminium so we can polish it on those rare days when the sun is shining. And there are certain fixtures and fittings in the van that for us are essential, and for some of our continental cousins, they just really don't understand why we fit them.
So at the moment there's 2 in the range. Are you planning to grow that in the future?
Yeah, definitely. When we talk to you again, hopefully before October, but when we see you in October at the NEC show, there'll be 4 more Star Classes. And at a different market sector, there may be some Weinsberg product offered as well, which would be genuine small starter vans aimed again at the UK consumer.
And how big is Knaus's ambition for the UK market?
Knaus as a company are planning for, not this year, but for next year, to manufacture close to 20,000 leisure vehicles. The good news for Britain is some of them will be coming here. How many? Nothing like 20,000. I would think perhaps 200 or 300 in the first year would be a lovely target to hit.
Well, thanks very much, Mike. Now I'm going to go and take a look at the van. This is the new Knaus Star Class, and if you hadn't already guessed by the fact that the door is on the near side, there's a small hint on the side that this van is aimed squarely at the UK market. It's priced at around 25 grand, so this is a van that's looking for luxury buyers. But there's plenty of kit to take into account. I love the fact that on the outside here we've got this simply massive external locker. You've got a Truma blown air outlet, and a TV point and a 230 volt socket. It rides on a Bpw chassis rather than the more familiar Alco variant, but there's also a hitch stabiliser and trailer stability control and a rather natty set of alloy wheels. I must say, I think it's a really good looking van, but let's find out what it's like inside. So if you're in any doubt that this is a luxury caravan, just check out this lounge area. There's simply massive panoramic sunroof overhead, and I rather like this marble effect table that pulls out of the front chest. I will, however, say that if there's more than 2 of you using this caravan, you might want to consider swapping that front chest for an additional seat at the front, because it really does feel quite tight for any more than 2. Another look at the option list reveals a few more luxury extras. You can get leather upholstery here, you can get a roof-mounted aircon unit. But the main thing to point out is actually it's really very comfortable in here. These sofas are sprung and really deeply padded. Although I think if you want to make a bit more space, taking out the end bolster will really help. It's in the kitchen where you really notice the difference between a proper Continental caravan and a Continental caravan made for the UK market. For a start, we've got a separate oven and a separate grill. We've got a 4-burner hob with an electric hot plate, and we've got a simply massive refrigerator and separate freezer. It's huge. None of your solitary 2-ring burners in here. There's also masses of storage space. Look at this huge cupboard up here, and these fantastic drawers which have a really slick soft close action. There's a separate sink with a built-in drainer so you don't have to put it away, and there's also a reasonable amount of worktop space, so there's no need for a separate lift-up flap. The only question I have is, that microwave, even for me that's a bit high, and it's directly over the hob, which is not ideal for everyone. However, there is a standard microwave, again, not the continental norm. Moving back to the master bedroom, it's pretty conventional. We've got a fixed near-side bed, we've got the usual pull-across screen, and a wardrobe which is actually pretty large, bigger than normal. What's really unusual, however, is the size of this bed. It's absolutely massive, which is great news if, like me, you're taller than the average bear. And back here, we've got a vanity unit, which is rather a nice touch, with a large cupboard underneath. If you're feeling short of storage, which really you shouldn't be, there's 4 overhead lockers, and under the bed, an absolutely cavernous space, which is also where you'll find the freestanding table, which is not ideal if you don't fancy lugging it forwards every time you need to use it. That said, that front chest-mounted table is a pretty good size. The washroom isn't the deepest we've encountered. It does feel a little bit restricted, certainly for changing clothes, but otherwise it's very well specified. There's a domestic-style bathroom cabinet and a really good-sized shower cubicle, although headroom is restricted by the curvature of the rear roof. One other thing to note is the fact that there's a Dometic loo in here rather than the more conventional Thetford. The thing that has always held back continental manufacturers in the UK market is the fact that their layouts are so alien to the British buyer. With the Star Class, Knaus has pulled off a neat trick. It marries the familiar UK layouts with that Germanic fit and finish, and it'll be really interesting to see how the British buyers take to it. Well, the birds are singing and it's a beautiful day, but of course the weather could turn at any moment. And quite frankly, I've had enough of sleeping under canvas. So what's the next step up? Well, how about something like this? It's a Teardrop Caravan. But Julie, how did these caravans come about?
To be truthful, they started off as a sort of experiment just to see if we could make one, and they were really well received. So we just took off from there.
And I suppose a crucial question is, how much do they weigh?
500 kilograms. You can pull it with a motorbike, a trike. I pull it with a Mini. Anything over 1,000 cc's will pull that quite happily.
And what about space inside? Surely they're pretty tiny, aren't they?
Not as tight as you'd think. The mattress is actually 4 foot wide by 6 foot 2 long, and it folds up into a sofa bed as well.
And how much do they cost?
Basic ones, without your kitchen hatch, will start at 4,600. We'll start you off with a basic galvanised chassis, put the shell on, and then it's up to you to tell us how you want it. So it's up to you what you spend on it. This red one is 9,500.
And what sort of timescale are we talking about from the moment someone delivers their plans to you to receiving their finished van?
Roundabout at the moment, 6 weeks, but as the season goes on and we get busier, it will be slightly longer.
Well, that's fascinating, Julie. Thanks very much, and all the best with the project.
Thank you very much.
Now, 7 years ago, when Bailey launched Alutech, they tested it by parking a car on the roof, and they decided it was time for another test. So here I am, and so far it seems to be holding. That brings us to the end of the first show in the new series of Practical Caravan TV. I do hope you've enjoyed it. You can keep up with us on Facebook and via our website, but you haven't got long to wait because we're now moving to a weekly schedule. But don't go away, because in just a few minutes, Niall Hampton will be bringing you all the latest motorhome news. Until next time, bye-bye.
Truma, makers of the Combi Heater and iNet system, are proud to sponsor Practical Caravan TV.